Welcome to Shoot Wisely, the Content Creators Podcast. I'm your host, Amir Ebrahimi. With over 25 years of production experience, as a documentarian, my cameras have taken me across this country and around this amazing world, capturing and telling stories. The Shoot Wisely podcast is a conversation with fellow storytellers with the goal to inspire. In today's episode, I talked to Tony Menias, an award-winning published travel and street photographer who just happened to graduate from medical school. I had the pleasure of meeting Tony in Oaxaca, Mexico this past year while on assignment for a Netflix shoot. Tony and I share a similar story of discovering our passion for photography thanks in part to our fathers gifting us cameras at a very young age. This is our conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he just loved cameras. Like, he probably wasn't really good. He wasn't really good at it. You know what I mean? But like, nothing about his photos were artistic, but he was wanting to document. So he loved to just take photos of everything that we were doing. Every place that we went to, he had a camera. And it was always a new camera. So he never knew how to use it. Right. And so it was great to have him around and always document, because literally we have albums upon albums upon albums and little, those little tapes that come in those camcorders, the little VHSs. And we have hundreds of those of just like everything that we did as a family. So, of course I wanted to be just like him, and I wanted to have a camera. So he gave me one, and it is one of these little tiny, it was one of those Mickey Matics. You know what a Mickey Matic is? It's like a
little point and shoot.
It's a 110 film camera.
Oh yeah. I remember that film. Yeah.
Right. It's like the little one, and it's like this small. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was the first camera he gave me because I'm a little kid, and I'm just like snapping through, and it's cute and whatever, and it's got Mickey Mouse on it, and that was a thing. I actually have my dad's camera here.
Nice.
And this is, it's old. It's nothing fantastic. It's an old Minolta.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's, he wasn't like a fancy photographer, no Rolleiflex or, whatever. But he just wanted to capture things. So, this is one of his, there's plenty up there. But this was, I believe, one of the main ones he was using.
Now, did you realize that it was a special thing? Because I had a similar situation with my father, almost to the T. And when I got older and people were like, oh, you take pictures, I was like, well, doesn't everybody take pictures?
Right.
Did you realize that it was something special that your father gave to you, or did you just think that everybody kind
of? When I was 10, I was the kid that took that camera and then brought it to school. And then, I don't know, when we would have like big events, or like maybe it was the end of the year, I brought the camera to school to capture the people that were in my class.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would take pictures of my teachers, take pictures of my friends, take pictures of whatever, of the playground or whatever. And then every year I would bring that camera, and obviously it changed over the years which camera got. Like, it would change into like a Canon Sure Shot. You know what I mean? Just like more point and shoots, not like the tiny 110, but it got bigger and more advanced as every year went on, because my dad kept also buying lots of cameras. Right. So I'm like, okay, can I take this one? Can I take this one? And it became a thing. And then after that, then it turned to digital when I got to college. And then it turned into these, I have a tiny, I wish I still had it somewhere, but it was a tiny 2 megapixel Sony CyberShot.
2 megapixel.
2.
Yeah.
But I captured what I did with it. If I look at those photos now, I'm like, holy shit, I can never use these for anything. So,
right.
So there's that. And then,
but you mentioned college. What did you study in college?
So, I went straight into medical school.
Right.
There was no, I did 1 year of college, and then, put me in an American college at a party school for 1 year. It's not a good thing because, I'm 18 and I'm living in a brown home.
Right.
You're not allowed to do anything. So, and then give me all the freedom. It wasn't a good idea. So my mom my mom was like, "Oh, okay, you can't do this anymore. You're not gonna do this. We're gonna take you to Egypt, and you're gonna go to medical school, and you're gonna be just like your dad, and this is what you're gonna do." And I'm like, fine. Like there was no, because I knew I saw where this direction was going, and I saw the opportunity of becoming a physician and all these other things. So,
had you been to Egypt yet?
Yeah, we used to go almost yearly, like annually, to go hang out with, distant family, and, obviously be there.
Yeah.
It's everything, right?
Yeah.
So I knew the country, I understood it, but living there is a whole.
Sure.
That's a very different experience,
Yeah.
But yeah. So
and then so you went to school then you go to Egypt for school, and what happens there?
So go to Egypt for school, get my degree, which was interesting. I mean, either way, like living in Egypt was mind blowing because
as a 19-year-old.
Yeah, as a 19-year-old until 27.
Wow.
So it's a 6.5 year program, like it is everywhere else in the world.
Right.
Like it's a British program, right? So the Brits pretty much controlled the rest of the world, right? So most universities, straight from high school, you have to know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And then you get into that, and it's a 6.5 years starting from like learning the basics of anatomy and physiology, and then all the way to the end of like surgery and internal medicine.
Pretty international student body?
Yes. Oh, in my school?
Yeah.
I would say it's mostly Arabic speaking.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would be Syrian, Jordanian, Saudi Arabians,
okay.
So and such,
Yeah.
But because Egypt is the hub of like the Middle East, a lot of people would go there for those kinds of things.
Yeah.
From different countries. So it was pretty difficult for me because my Arabic kind of sucked right before I went.
Right.
And in the beginning years, they were trying to have a connection with their students, so they had to speak in Arabic.
Yeah.
I barely understand what's going on, but the language in the books are all English.
Right.
So that was helpful for me because I could just read. And sadly, there was no YouTube really back in that day. There wasn't. I mean, YouTube was just starting maybe a couple years, but nothing to the point of what it is now.
I'm glad there was no YouTube when I was growing up.
But I mean, I how about this? As a photographer, I attend YouTube University.
Yes, we are. Yes.
So it would have been nice to have some kind of medical, lectures or something.
Yeah.
Instead of a book, which is always hard to,
Sure.
for a guy like myself who has a very short attention span for me to constantly just sit there and look at, what was being said to me or was written. But yeah, living in Egypt was very interesting, very eye-opening, just because you get to see the way people live, and that has an effect on you, and especially as an American coming back to your homeland, and it turns into this thing where you're just like, wow, I was living in a very entitled kind of life, expectations and silver platter kind of life, and here it comes where people have nothing, and they were very happy.
Yeah. Were you taking pictures at all?
I always am taking pictures. Again, starting from
10
till then, there was again the graduation of cameras.
Right.
So 2 megapixel became 5 megapixel, and and then it was like these little small ones. I don't even know if I still have one here. I might or might not. Oh, here it is. Here's this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Yeah. I would carry these around.
Yeah.
And it was great. And so now I was the guy that had 3 different things in my pocket. I had a phone. It was like a Nokia phone.
Mm-hmm.
I had this, and I had an MP3 player.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I wanted.
Which is now called the iPhone.
Literally, yeah. And it's funny. I used to carry these 3 devices and a wallet,
right,
and my keys around wherever I went because I always listened to music. I always wanted to take photos, you know, and I never left home without this because it was beautiful, because it was fit in your pocket.
Yeah.
You know, I could just, you know, I tell you the truth, I wish I carried this around more, because the shots I get from how fast and how small this is definitely has a little bit more, I don't know, more of a feeling to it than a lot of the photos that I sit and I wait and I take.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, these tiny ones, and I always was taking photos. Now, were they always artistic? No, they were always just like, again, documenting my friendships, documenting my life, documenting the people around me, and school and whatever. Later in life, things started to get more artistic near the end of medical school, and I think that's when I don't know what happened. I think it was my connection with my own country or whatever it was. I don't know. Maybe I was just maturing. I was getting older. I can't tell. I can't tell you the transition of photography, of just documenting my friends having a good time, to, oh yes, this person is.
Yeah.
It changes, and I don't know how it happened that way, but it did.
Did you have any dreams of being a photographer at that point, or were you just like, I'm going to be a doctor and I happen to take pictures as well?
Correct. It's the latter.
Right.
It was definitely there was no dream of being a photographer. The dream was Tony is going to be a doctor and he's going to help people, and that's the thing. It's like it started to change when I graduated. And then when I graduated, I was starting to study for my boards. And during that time, the revolution, like the Arab Spring, happened.
Wow.
So now I'm in the middle of Egypt, middle of Arab Spring.
Yeah.
Full on revolution is happening around me.
Full on, yeah.
Yeah.
A real revolution. Yeah.
Real revolution. Like I would wake up every morning. I remember, for like the 2-3 weeks it was happening. Man, buildings were on fire, gunshots and bombs. You would hear things were going nuts, man. It was complete anarchy.
And at this point you had graduated already?
I graduated already, and I wanted to stay in Egypt because, one, I loved it. First, it's funny because I hated it in the beginning. Sure. And then near the end, I was like, I don't want to leave this place. It became my home. And and it was hard for me to want to get up and go. And then I thought to myself, okay, if I went back to the States, all I'm going to be doing is studying anyways. So why be a burden, a more expensive burden on my family by being in the States when I could just be in Egypt and it would be like 10 times cheaper.
Right.
And I get to be in the place that I want to be and also be warm because Chicago is cold, right?
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to study here until I'm ready or maybe, until I want to take this exam and then I'll come home.
Right.
So, but you know what? Egypt was like, no, Tony, you know what? You're not allowed to stay here. We're going to have to kick you out. Man, that revolution was nuts. Like I don't think I've ever been through an experience like that. Like this was the only one that was maybe a pivotal point in my life where it's like, and it shifted me towards this. It threw me into manhood. There was no, you know what I mean? Like whatever was very gradual. This was like kick straight into the, like, you better, you got to protect. I had to protect my neighborhood. I made weapons that I didn't even know existed. Wow. I was like, I used to have a plastic hollow bat as a kid. We had the same home ever since we were children. We owned this place. And every year, again, I would visit and I would bring all my toys from the States, so I can have a thing when I get there, right?
Yeah.
My other things. Anyways, there's a plastic bat, hollow plastic bat, and I remember filling it with sand. Okay, so made sure it was heavy. I duct tape it shut. I put glass on the end of it, like sharp glass, just in case.
Right.
And we had to we literally protected our street and our neighborhood. Like all the guys in the area had to like go down there every night. We set up literally camp in the middle of the street.
Wow.
To protect our homes from anarchists and people who wanted to kidnap women and children so they can, get money.
Right.
And it was a thing, and like it was scary, man. It was a very scary thing. So then my mom calls me like 3 days before, or like maybe about 2 weeks later. They turned off all the internet. Internet was off. The government was like, okay, we can't. No one should know what's happening. So they turn off the internet. Turn it off. And it was off. No cell phone service. So all that's left now is your landline. Okay. So landline is the only thing on. Everyone's obviously now calling me every day, asking me if I'm still alive and how's it going. And like, we have to get you out. We have to get you out. And I'm the only one left, right? And I'm the only man left in the family. My dad passed when I was 15. So now it is, we have to save the man of the house. And, of course, I'm the youngest and I'm the only boy. So it's like, you got to come home. So I go to check my passport. My passport's expired. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. Yeah. I'm in the middle of this crazy, crazy, crazy revolution, and I can't get out. What do I need to do? So I had to go to Tahrir, which I've already done a couple of times already, but now Tahrir is the square that everyone was congregating. We're talking about millions of people. And in Tahrir, no joke, like next to it is the American Embassy. So I have to go to this place. People are getting tear gas. People are getting, the tanks and water cannons, and it's like, it's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And I have to go line up at the freaking American Embassy so I could get my passport and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to leave. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want to leave. It just happened. My family's freaking out. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't know how long this is going to last.
You almost sound guilty that you left.
I do. I don't want to. I felt like I should have been. It's sad. I don't know how to really put it into words, but it really wasn't my fight. But at the same time, because I lived there for so long, I felt I had to be a part of it.
Right.
So yeah, I did feel guilty for leaving, and I also felt horrible because of the fact that 3 days after I left, Mubarak stepped down, and so I was really pissed because I wanted to celebrate with everybody else,
right? And
I couldn't.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I got the emergency passport. It was like 6 pages long. It's just enough to get me out.
Right.
And it was intense. It was a very intense experience for me. And I think that was, again, pivotal moment also in my photography as well, because yes, it was getting artsy, but like, I think going through something like that also changed my view. And every experience in my life has changed my view for the better, I'd say. But yeah, that was my revolution Egyptian life story kind of thing. Yeah.
Did you take any images during that time?
Yeah. Again, so I had this one, or maybe it was a blue one, but it was the same series of cameras. So yes, I did, but they're crap. The quality's not that good.
Yeah, but certain things are just a documentation of what was going on. It doesn't really have to be like this amazing photograph. And I'm sure you have this bar that you sent for yourself. That I do look at those images. You just have to. That's amazing, man. And so then you came back and you're back in Chicago?
Yes, I came back to Chicago. I come back to take my boards and study. And honestly, it was my life to study for these, my licensing exams. Now, because I'm coming to the States, I have to basically go into the match as the American medical students.
Right.
So in order to do that, I have to take the same boards they do. And so in the same time, when I was studying and then going from one exam to another, there's a total of 4 exams. I had to also make my CV look good, right? So me working in Egypt doesn't do shit, to be honest. It doesn't do a damn thing. And of course, they want to make it look like, okay, I've done some work here in the States. Like I have some kind of rapport with patients and rapport with doctors and,
Right.
you know, and of course they want letters of recommendation and all these other things. So I was doing things to help me out in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a lot of work with psychiatrists, and this is why I think this is why you said earlier, like I'm listening, because I do listen,
Right.
Because I can, you know, go back and forth, and I think that's where the empathy and all this stuff, where me being a doctor, all comes from.
Yeah.
Because at the end, I want to take care of you. So if you tell me, I want to listen, I want to hear your problems, I want to listen to what you have to say, because you are much of a person than I am, and we're both in the same boat together.
Right.
So, you know, I want you to also be in a good place and to be in a happy place that I'm always in. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I was doing all that stuff. And I started doing medical missions as well, mm-hmm. Because I always had this thing for the underserved, the poor, because after living in Egypt, I'm just like, man, those are the ones who are going to need it the most, not these, you know, these entitled Americans who are like, oh yeah, you know, I'm like, I saw this on WebMD. I'm like, no, you don't know anything, right. Like, you know, kind of life. So I did a lot of medical missions. I went to like Bolivia and Morocco and Egypt and Ethiopia. And I did all these trips trying to, you know, alleviate the medical issues that they have there with certain people. And that's when I would totally say that the photography really changed for me.
Yeah.
Or during those trips. And
you're shooting those the whole time.
Always,
right.
Dude, always. I can't not document.
Right.
I cannot document. I'll take my camera with me when I go on my dog walks. When I take my dog out, yeah. My camera is, I'm not saying it's 99% of the time or 100% of the time, but it's at least like 70, which is good enough. You know what I mean? Like if I'm just like, all right, dog, let's go. I need you to like, you know, I need you to do your business and let's go back inside. Like I'm not going to take my camera out. But if I know I'm going on a walk, we're going on a nice little long walk, I'll take it with me.
Right.
You know, I'm always documenting as much as I can, because I think I'm disgustingly observant. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like pathological of how much I'm seeing things. My eyes are always shifting and looking at things, to a point where my ex-girlfriend thought I was always looking at girls, or, you know, what are you looking at? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just looking. Like, give me a break. Like, I don't know. What do you want from me? You know, I'm just
look at my work.
You're always looking at. I'm like, yeah, I'm always looking. Yeah, but she's like, oh, who are you looking at? She's cute. I'm like, there's no girls there. There's nothing happening. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know how I got there, but I'm always scanning. And I'm always like looking, and I'm always analyzing, and I'm trying to just take in everything as much as I can. I don't know what it is, but I guess I love to be stimulated in a way, just like visually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I documented Ethiopia. I think that was like a big trip for me. That really kind of just resonated the most with me, because I went, like, if I thought Egypt was poor, Ethiopia is really poor.
Yeah.
Okay. And I didn't know. I had no idea that it was going to be like that. And when I went there, and we're serving, like, we're going into orphanages too. We're doing, like, you know, crazy things, right?
Yeah.
And people who didn't have anything at all. And so that trip really, really opened my eyes, because these people were even happier than the Egyptians. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was just like, wow. You know, like, what is happening here? Like, how? And everyone's like, oh, you look at people who don't really have anything. Oh, I feel so sorry for them. You really shouldn't. Yeah. You really shouldn't. Like, they're way better off than you think, just mentally and emotionally. Right. And more, and, you know, I hate the word third world, first world countries. You know, I don't like that, because you're basically throwing yourself, oh, we have all these things. But, you know, mentally and emotionally, people in the first world have more problems.
Yeah.
Mentally and also physically.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really interesting. The more I traveled and the more I experienced life and where I went. But yeah.
So when did you decide to leave the practice and become a full-time photographer?
So it was after all these medical missions. I come back with these photos, and I'd post them on Facebook. I'd post them on, well, actually Instagram at that point was kind of private for me. But I post them on Facebook just with my friends and family. And then of course I get these messages like, holy cow, Tony, like, what kind of camera do you have? You know, and I now I realize I hate that question, but back then I was just like, nothing.
Right.
I get this dude, you know, like nothing crazy. And I would come back with these compositions and these feelings that people are like, wow, what's happening here? I'm like, I don't know. So I think it was one big thing for me is that when I applied to match for my residency, I did not match. So I got some interviews, and it didn't go through. I was going into psych, obviously, because I had like a year and a half of now psych, like a background, because I worked with psychiatrists and I worked at a hospital and all that stuff as an extern.
And just a quick question: when you work with a psychiatrist, are you able to sit in while they're talking to patients?
Oh, I would actually be talking to the patients.
You'd be like, oh, excuse me, I got this.
Yeah, well, this is what happens. So because you go to medical school, you have to know how to take a history. You have to know how to do an examination. These are things that you have to learn. So when you do get into residency, you better have your shit together, because now you're a full-on doctor. And yeah, you're still learning, but you're being thrown in, like, because you know the big doctors don't want to do all the work. Right. So sometimes they throw the residents in. They're like, okay, we don't want to do the busy work, which is what sometimes the nurses do, or sometimes the PAs do, where they sit there and take all the, they take all the history and examination. So I would have to do that myself.
Right.
And listen in. The only thing that I was not allowed to do was prescribe. So now I took down the history, I took down the examination, I took down everything, like the big notes of what it is, and possibly my differential of what possibly this patient has. That is not me, is it? That is me. And then so I don't know, man. I totally wasn't happy with the fact that, or I was happy with the fact that I was able to do these things, and.
But that's not an easy conversation to have with your family, correct? Like, I'm going to be a photographer, even though I just went to 6 years.
I still get it till this day.
Right.
My mom will not leave this alone. She's just like, oh, why don't you keep trying? Why don't you keep? But I did all that work with all that stuff, and I did not match, right? Because I did not match.
So let's go back to the match. I don't want people to think it's match.com. What do you mean by match?
Well, it is kind of like a match.com. So what it does is it is a match between you as a application, I guess, or you as a person who's applying for a job at a hospital, and the hospital. Okay. So what it does is that you get these hospitals. You apply, and then these hospitals are like, okay, we like what is happening here. He did this, this, and this, and this. We're going to send him an interview. Okay. So now that you've interviewed, you are now part of this this thing called the match, where now your name is with these people. So let's just use Harvard, for example, just for fun. Okay. So Harvard is like, okay, we like this dude. We're going to give him an interview. And so they put your name in the system, and then you put their name in the system. And the more they like you, the higher you are in their list. And the more you like them, the higher they are on the list. So you could have done so many interviews with so many schools, but where you want them and where they want you, goes into this algorithm called the match.
And it's an actual algorithm. It's not
Yes,
like people.
it's an actual
Wow.
algorithm. Yes, it is. It is a full-on automated.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is like Match.com.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because I bet you that's kind of where they probably got the same thing from. But you apply and you put all these things through, but you have to be, your list and their list have to kind of coincide together, right?
Right.
And that's where it's like, okay, we're together, yay, right? So, I didn't match,
Interesting.
and it was a big issue because it really like hurts you. It hurts the ego just a bit because you work really hard to do this and do these things and want to be part of it. And I was just like, fuck this. I need to I think I just need to travel for a little bit because I remember going to Ethiopia and I remember going to Morocco and all these places. And I said, man, I really need to get out of here.
Yeah.
So I went on a nice long trip to Asia. And at this point, I bought a professional camera. Because again, people were asking me, what kind of camera you have, you should buy one, you really need this. I said, okay, I'll do that. And so my family helped me buy a camera for my Christmas gift.
Little do they know the trouble they've tried.
Yeah. I said, I really, really want a camera, please let me, I really want this.
Yeah.
And I think because, and it's funny because they know, I guess because my dad had all these cameras and whatever, and I think they, I don't know, wanted to help me have that connection with my father. And so I got the camera, and of course I'm practicing with it and whatever, but I had maybe a year on it already, just me documenting here in Chicago, and then of course connecting with the photography community here and all that stuff. But yeah, I was still practicing and trying to figure out what it is that I photograph, even though the way I did photograph already showed in my little tiny point and shoot.
Right.
But I kind of almost disregarded it in a way because I'm like, ooh, now I have this crazy new camera that could do all these other things. I'm gonna try that first. So I went to Patagonia. I tried to do landscape photography. I went to I went to all these different places to capture some things, like astrophotography and landscape and all these cool things that was on Instagram.
Right.
I'm like, I want to be like these guys. These guys have God knows how many followers. I want to take pictures like them.
Right.
And they were okay. They're not bad photos. They're pretty good. But they're not what I do.
Right.
It's not what I do now. And I said, okay, after I did all the landscape stuff and I learned my camera and understood it, and I started to realize that, man, I was more into people. I really wanted to take photos of culture and, everything that was around me in that regard. So I went to Asia after this match that wasn't a match.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent 2.5 months.
Wow.
From Japan all the way down to Bali. I went to 8 countries.
Wow.
And I was on this trying to find myself kind of situation. And of course now I'm in a place where it's mostly Buddhism, right? Where, everything's about finding yourself and then letting go of yourself and, all that process, right? And again, I'm still also trying to shoot some landscape too and some whatever, because I take this camera with me. I'm still playing with it, and I wanted to be this travel photographer who travel influencer. I'm not gonna say photographer just yet. I'm gonna say influencer, whatever's on Instagram. I wanted the followers, I wanted the likes, I wanted the just wanting to throw out there that I can be like these guys, because if they could do it, I could do it. Who are you, right?
Were you putting that energy out there, or was it still kind of a secret for you?
What do you mean?
Were you telling people, no, this is what I'm going to do? Or were you kind of I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to look at it, and then I'm going to edited?
I think I was just trying to see what I could do.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Tony's going to be a full-on photographer just yet.
Right.
It's Tony's going to, I need a break from this.
Mm-hmm.
And in that break, things really kind of just took off. Because when I finally came back from that trip, those pictures were something else.
Right.
Because, and it's funny, you could tell the difference in the shots of the places that I went to, and the connection that I had with the people and so on. So it's funny, the poorer the country, the more connection that I had with the people around me and the energy that was in that country.
Mm-hmm.
It changes, and that also affects me and the way I see things. So, when I was in Japan versus, Cambodia or versus like Myanmar, I mean, those were very, very poor countries, but man, the photos that I got from there were very, very, very different from Japan and like Hong Kong, right? So
right.
It's interesting. I came back with shots, and I would say like my favorite shots were literally Myanmar, Vietnam, Cambodia. And the hilarious thing is, during that trip, my camera broke. Okay. And I'm not even joking, halfway through my trip. So I was in country number 4, and which happened to be what? Cambodia. So now I'm in the poorest country, one of the poorest countries in the world, with no camera. And at this point, I was so pissed because I'm just like, do I have to end this trip now? Like, what am I going to do? I don't want to go home yet. It
was a digital camera or a film camera at the time?
No, it was my Fujifilm. This is what I was using. I was taking it around. Yeah, no film. No more film. There's zero film now at this point. This is now this is the digital camera that my professional camera that I bought before I went on this Asia trip. Right. And it broke the night that I left Hong Kong.
What a night.
Right. And I'm just like flipping out. I'm like looking through the internet. I'm like, what do I do? My shutter wouldn't pop back open. It wouldn't move anymore. It just stuck. Right.
But you were in Hong Kong, bro. They could have fixed it. They could fix anything there.
The night before, as in like everything was closed.
Right.
It was like at the point where I just got back home. It was 11 p.m. My flight was the next morning.
Fuck.
Yeah. Because I was out all day shooting,
Yeah.
And I went to this peak that everybody takes photos of the land of the cityscape.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking these, long exposures to, capture all the lights and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I something happened, man, and it just wouldn't open again. So obviously I show up to Cambodia the next day with no camera.
Man.
I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm like, fuck, I'm going to Cambodia.
You're like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
I was pissed, man. I was so mad. So I'm like, crap. And I have a Fujifilm. I don't have a Canon. I don't have a Nikon. I have a camera that not many people have at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a kind of a brand new company. When I say brand new, I say brand new in making cameras, not brand new in making
digital cameras. Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do here. So I'm researching like camera stores in Siem Reap in the middle of Cambodia. I'm like, what am I going to do? I need a camera.
Oh, but you weren't in Phnom Penh?
No, I was in Siem. I wanted to go capture, what's it called? Angkor Wat.
Right.
And that's what I'm a tourist at this point, right? I'm not a photographer. I am a tourist with a camera.
Right.
I'm here to capture all the touristy bullcrap that I can because, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going on my crazy adventure. I mean, I was a crazy adventure, but at the same time, I'm still a tourist. I'm just who happens to be a hobbyist who loves his camera.
Mm-hmm. Paperweight at that point.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Right. And dude, I found a camera store that had I want to call it the uglier older sister of my camera. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, there was no viewfinder. There was no, it was almost like a selfie camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it took my lenses and it took my batteries.
There you go.
And that's all I needed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, sell me this body. I need this because I do not want to go home yet.
Right.
So I bought it, and dude, the photos that came from that camera are even better than the ones that came from the camera before that.
Ugly sister, man.
Which I found funny.
Yeah.
Right. So all my Myanmar shots, my Vietnam, my Bali, my what else? And Cambodia. Those are the last 4. And man, the difference between the two
Interesting.
were interesting, to say the least.
Because same lenses, huh?
Same lenses.
Yeah.
But the lenses, I obviously, if you buy that camera, like the one that I bought in Cambodia, if you buy that camera, it comes with very different set of lenses.
Mm.
So the lenses that I have on my camera are like the ones that I had on before then are more professional ones.
Right.
Okay, compared to like the selfie one.
Yeah.
That you can literally, no joke, you can take the screen and you can flip it over and you can take pictures of yourself.
Right.
So, yeah, really interesting how that played out for me. It did also piss me off though, because when I came back and I brought these photos and I started putting them up online, and now my Instagram is public. I'm posting it. People are checking it out. And I'm getting the same questions. Holy, what are these? Like, how are these not published somewhere? And I'm just like, I'm a doctor, guys. I'm not trying to do all this, And so, I don't know. I thought to myself, I'm going to try something. I got an invite to do a show, like an art show. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I find this, and don't forget, I'm also now in the photography community of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to a couple of like other shows, but these are all like nothing fancy. These are just like, Chicago photographers taking pictures of Chicago. Nothing great.
Right.
And here I come with these Myanmar shots and Vietnam and all these things, and like Patagonia and all that stuff. And I start to print this on some really, really like, I started working with this lab. This guy named Juan Carlos, he owns like a lab in his attic where, he's also starting off. So he would come to these events also. And I'm like, dude, I have some shots, man, that I really want to print. And this guy was printing on this beautiful, like, he was G-clay, Canson paper, museum grade quality shit, like fine art.
Shout out to Juan Carlos.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Photo Innovation Labs, by the way, in Chicago. If anybody want to go check them out, please do.
Nice.
But, dude, he really hooked me up. And I printed with him, and I framed some stuff. I made some prints, and I went to the show. And of course, I tell all my friends, I tell all my family, I said, listen, I'm trying to see what is going on with this stuff. Dude, I sold out.
Nice.
I sold out. And I'm just like, dude, okay. Here's this gratitude that I'm getting from this community, and the medical world is not giving me what I want.
Yeah, you found your
match.
I
applied again, by the way. I applied after I came back. I applied again. Also did not match again. I'm like, this is interesting. This is okay. So now the medical world's not giving me what I want. Right? It's not giving me all the work that I'm putting in. But the little
Which is just an opportunity, right? At this point.
And now I'm putting in the work to become this photographer that I'm not sure about just yet. And then I sold out a show. And people bought my work to put in their home. Now I'm like honored. My prints are in someone else's house. They love it. They find it beautiful to a point that they want it in their home. And I'm just like, you know what? That's fantastic.
Right.
Okay. So that makes me feel good. So then I start throwing these shots into like Flickr, National Geographic, and whatever. And then I throw a photo into National Geographic and I won a contest. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. National Geographic, really? National Geographic. The National Geographic. I get to win something from National Geographic. You're serious? Like, you know how good that makes me feel as a person?
Another match.
So that's what happened with that. And I'm just like, okay, I'm good. I'm going to now, and here's this question that you've been asking. This is where I said, here, from this to this.
Right. Now
I have some kind of foundation to step onto, because again, I'm still a doctor, right? So I have logic in my head. I'm not gonna be like, all right, guys, fuck it all. We're gonna go straight into this and screw it. No, man, I need to have something to make it. Tell my mother, like, hey, Ma, I'm leaving medicine to be. You're going from literally the top paying job in the world to the lowest paying job in the world.
Yeah.
And if you can actually look that up, because I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I said, what are the highest paying jobs, lowest paying jobs? No joke. Physicians up on the top, photographers like on the bottom.
And one of the most secure jobs once you get it.
Right. So this is the thing. So I'm like telling myself, okay, how do I tell my family and my friends that I'm leaving medicine to do photography? Well, National Geographic and the sold out shows and one of the awards that I got at a show, really was like, Tony, you can do this.
You're doing it.
Yeah. But it's just like, I'm just going with the flow, right? I'm not really thinking in my head. I'm just trying to see what I can do. And when you sell out 2 shows, you get an award, you get National Geographic under your whatever. And obviously all the likes and the comments now that I'm getting on my Instagram. And I'm like, even though it can be a little bit bullshit, but the whole point is it's like, wow, okay, here we go. And so, man, 2018, 2019, I took off. I went traveling.
This is recent, man. This is recent.
This is all recent. This is all.
God damn, you have a body of work.
Because I told you, I'm psychotic with my eyes, man.
Right.
I can't stop.
Well, it's not just your eyes; it's your lust for travel too, and your ability to travel and to put yourself in certain situations.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm a traveler first, a photographer second. I'm constantly looking for stimulation. I'm constantly looking for something new. And then, that trip to Asia was 2017.
Wow.
And that trip, and then I did a little bit more after that. 2018, I tried to see if I wanted to be a responsible adult. I got a job doing like medical stuff just so I can pay some bills. But I hated it. But it was like medical. It was like doctor referral systems. It was something so dumb. I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad that ended. Mm-hmm. And then I did a road trip in the United States. Took some photos in there. Did a trip here. I stayed pretty domestic that year. And then I hated how domesticated I became.
Mm-hmm.
And man, 2019, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this whole year to travel. So 2019 was the beginning, no joke. January fucking 1st. I took off. I went to Norway. I went to London. That was the beginning of my 2019 trip. I went to 12 countries, all of 2019. And each country was like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It really depended where I was going and when, how much I wanted to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I came back with gold. Right. Every trip I came back with gold. Yeah. like Norway for me, like even though I'll never do it again just because it's too fucking cold. I'm a brown guy and I need to be in very hot places.
Yeah.
The Northern Lights, freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Would I ever do it again? Hell no. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
You don't have to.
No, I don't have to. I got my shots. I got a video. I'm happy as fuck. I'm good. Right? But dude, never again. But 2019, dude, that was a year for me. And going to go do Holy and India and go to Italy and go to Israel and go to Palestine and go to places that really like have some issues, have some conflicts, are poor and don't have a lot of things, and you have rich in culture and rich in that. Man, India was amazing. I thought that is a photographer's paradise. I don't think I've ever connected with the people more than that. And this is why in 2020 I was supposed to go to Egypt to connect with my own people and go back with with a professional camera, because I haven't gone back yet.
Right. Interesting.
And then it canceled on me.
Right.
I was literally supposed to go in March.
Oh.
And then Trump is like, all right, we're canceling trips to Europe. I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound too good.
Right.
Like, I don't know what I'm going to do at this point.
Right.
But yeah, this is all brand new. This is all.
It's amazing, man. I'm floored. Recent. I really am shocked.
I'm shocked myself. I'm shocked, but I'm working really hard because now I have to prove myself as a photographer to my family, to my peers, to my whatever. Okay, I'm leaving medicine. I'm talking about like the most prestigious, highest paying job, in the United States or in the world. You know what I mean? Like you are prestigious, yes, all over the world. Highest paying all over the world, not necessarily, but in the United States, yes. And I'm leaving it to go take photos. Right. You know how that sounds to, yeah. Geez, my mom, my uncles, my aunties, you know what I mean? Just like, what are you doing with your life, Tony? Are you really just going to go hard and take photos? So I have to prove myself. I have to show that I'm doing this work. I have to show that people love my art. I have to show this. I have to prove it.
What do you think your pops would think?
My dad wanted me to do whatever I wanted. So I remember I wanted to be in computers when I was younger because I was obsessed with them, right? I told myself that I wanted to be like a computer scientist, and I didn't even know what that meant at the time. Right. But I really loved computers, and I really loved, just technology. So even though when I moved to Egypt, that completely changed for me because that became more of a hippie when I left Egypt. Because then I'm like, yeah, I don't need these things. What do I need this stuff for? And I remember people asking me, oh man, you should get the new iPhone. And don't forget, I was that guy with all the 3 things in my pockets, right? I was packed. And even when I came back to the States, I was really adamant on not buying one. Right. To the point where it got to the iPhone 6, and I still didn't have one yet. And I was
did you have?
A
flip phone? What kind of phone did you have? A flip phone?
Yeah, it was just a shit. Yeah, it was just like whatever. It was not even a phone. It was a bar phone, just like nothing crazy. The flip phones were too cheesy, like right. And they were kind of crappy. But these were like Nokias that I got from Egypt or wherever I was, and they were pretty hefty, man. Like they were good. And all I needed was to make phone calls and texts, and I didn't care to be part of social media or anything. Right. But I did have an iTouch, right? Mm-hmm. But it didn't come with me everywhere. I didn't want social media to come with me. I wanted it to be wherever I wanted it to be. So I became this different person now. So no computer scientist anymore, no technology, no whatever. I became this hippie who just wanted to travel and take photos, which is very different. But my dad was like, my mom was like, no, you got to be a doctor. But my dad's like, let him do what he wants. So I think this is why also, like, man, he's watching from above and just telling me, okay, man, you go down these lanes. It's fine. Awesome. I'm okay with it. Like if the universe or God or whatever you want to call this essence of life, that we're without, this connection is that we have, doesn't want me to go into medicine, then I'm not going to. You know what I mean? Like, if it's stopping me here, and all these doors are closed, and then here these other door opens, I'm going to walk through that other door. Right. I'm not going to keep banging on this door that keeps closing on me. It sounds stupid. It's dumb. That is literally what psychosis is, right? That is what insanity is. If you keep trying the same thing over and over again, and you have the same results, and you keep doing it, it doesn't. Yeah. You're not helping yourself.
Right.
So I tried this other thing, and it kept opening doors. And I'm like, here's proof, guys. It's right there. Can't you see? This is good for me. But let's continue doing this. Let's see where this goes. And of course, it was in the beginning. It was really hard, transferring over from one to the other. But I was always happy taking photos. I was always happy doing these other things.
Right.
So in the meantime, I was taking photos of other stuff to pay my bills. So I would do couples, I would do weddings, I would do babies, I would do, stuff.
Yeah.
And people would pay me for it.
Go figure.
And I won't cover that. Right. And so that gave me money to fuel my travels even more. So now I got money to travel, which makes me even more happy.
All right.
Take me here, take me there, and now I'm like less dependent on my family, and they've been so supportive. My sisters at least have been very supportive of pushing me through my, what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom still till this day, wow, why don't you call this hospital? Oh, you can talk to this doctor. He might help you to get, like, Mom, just quit. Yeah. Just quit. I'm too far along now for me to go back. And I don't even know when's the last time I read a medical book.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I'm fully knowledgeable. Like, if you have a problem, you ask me. I'm pretty good at helping you.
Yeah.
But I can't give you any medication. I can't do anything like that. But I'm not definitely keeping up with the times. Like, it's probably been like maybe 4 years or 3 years since I really looked into it. Like
the advancements in.
Yeah.
Right.
I have no idea what the new crazy medications are, or like the new advancements of like cancer and, oncology and all that stuff. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm clueless.
I want to talk about your ability to travel, because I've traveled quite a bit, and sometimes people will tell me like, oh, you're so lucky you could travel. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. And a lot of times I look at them, I don't say it, but I look at them and I'll just be like, you're not built for this, because like traveling is, and especially the way that you travel, which is one of the ways I love to travel, is I love to roll solo, and I love to like have a loose plan and be able to break that plan. And another thing too is I'll look at certain people and be like, you would hate to travel with me, because I'm walking down this road and for no reason, I'm going to stand on this corner for 3 hours and I can't explain it, Right. So where does your ability to travel and put yourself in uncomfortable situations come from?
I never find my situations uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's because it came from the place that I lived in poor countries already.
Yeah.
And I've been to, like, again, Ethiopia, and
sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been to Bolivia. I mean, these are really, really poor countries.
Yeah. But you never have that feeling when you're walking down an alley, like, I'm probably going to get a good image, but
that's different. That's different. That's not, that's more of a fear of being robbed or being killed. I don't know if that's an uncomfortable situation. It is, but it's more being scared of something that you could possibly die. Right. Which is, I think after Morocco, that just started to dissipate, because Morocco's a scary place, and it can be,
especially Tangier.
Right, Tangiers, and also even Marrakesh was kind of like that at night. Like walking around Marrakesh at night is not like these small alleys that you're going through, and of course there's like always these stories of people being kidnapped and stuff. But I don't know. I guess because I'm brown and I spoke the language, or they understood mine more than I understood theirs, because the Arabic in Morocco and the Arabic in Egypt are very, very different.
Right.
But I don't know. Like sooner or later, I was just like, I'm okay. I'm feeling good, and I no longer feel that fear so much. I no longer feel that I'm scared of the situations that I'm around because and I'm sad to say it, I'm not a white man. Because if I was a white dude,
you're not sad to say that.
No, I mean, it's like it sucks because now it's like a reverse of like they're no longer in power, right? In this part, in how I am, because if I travel to these countries, those white guys are going to be the center of getting robbed, or
right?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
they look at me and they're like, no, he's just like us. I'm like, right. Yeah, I am just like you.
Right.
So they leave me alone, and they don't even check twice. And then on top of that, I've lived in these countries, and I know when someone's about to do something. So I'm a little smarter. You know that I'm again disgustingly observant. I'm too observant. Right. Yeah. So I already know if you're looking at me funny. I already know if you're going to be trying to get close to me. You know what I mean? And I actually caught a couple of people trying to do some shit to another friend of mine who was traveling with me or whatever. One time was actually in Ethiopia, way in the beginning. And I saw these two kids trying to get this guy to like give them money. And I saw one kid literally like putting this notebook or something. It was kind of like a flat thing. I don't remember what it was, but it was like a magazine, I think it was. And he was putting the magazine close to the guy's pocket so he can reach into his pocket. So no one, he doesn't really know, right? Like the magazine's hitting him or whatever, but he was going to his pocket. Like, dude, watch out. Kid's about to go for your pocket. And then right when I said that, the kids ran off, right? But the thing is, I started to see these things little by little. And even when in Brazil, where you go to Brazil and everyone's like, oh, man, you're going to Rio? That's a scary place, man. I know many people got robbed there. Huh? Dude, I felt so safe. Yeah. I felt, you know what I mean? Like I never felt anything but. You know what I mean? And sure, it can look scary, but man, these people are just trying to live. And if they're looking at a white man who's got all this money, they're gonna take it. I see nothing wrong with it, you know, because I lived in Egypt.
That's a tax. Yeah.
And I lived in Egypt, man, and I remember being in the marketplace and seeing how much money they took out of the white guy and the white family compared to the brown family. Or not just that, but even how about this? Even if you were an American Egyptian, they would still take money.
Yeah, tax is higher,
right? Because this guy makes more money than I do.
Yeah,
and I'm going to take it because I had to provide for my family. You know what I mean? And I almost give them the justification of doing so. I don't know why I do, but I do.
That's why I call it a tax.
Right, it is a tax. So it's like. I remember when I got one of my portfolio reviews recently, she's like, it must be really hard for you to travel as a colored person. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, you're slow. You have no idea. And this is during the 2020 thing, right? This is after.
Oh, so she was woke.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
This white woman who, doesn't really understand, but she's like, no, I feel your pain. I'm like, no, you don't understand a damn thing. Right. You're just sitting in your white world, thinking that you already know things, but sooner or later you don't. You have no clue.
Right.
And it's like, I'm like, no, I travel to these countries and people connect with me more because I'm not different than them.
Yeah. She misunderstood the whole be loveful.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't get it.
Yeah.
She doesn't get it at all. But yeah.
How much does patience play into your work? Because when I look at your work, I'm like, this brother's got a lot of patience because he waited for this image.
Someone told me this the other day. She asked me, and she messaged me, and she's like, how long did you wait there? I'm like, I don't know. I just waited, and my to a point where my arms were getting tired, because I'm doing this. I'm literally just waiting for this person to get where I need them to get. Mm-hmm. She's like, you must have so much patience. I'm like, I don't know if it's me being stubborn or is it patience. Like, I think I'm more stubborn than I am patient.
Right.
I'm like, I need to get this. Is it patience? I don't know, because if it comes from a place of being stubborn, I don't know if it's so much of a virtue, you know?
Right. That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, I'm stubborn. I'm just like, no, I want this shot. I need this shot. I don't care. You know, it's not like I'm patient, like, yes, let me wait here forever. No.
Right.
I want to keep moving, but I can't because I'm stubborn. I'm like, no, I want this. You know, and I think it's a very different take on it, really, because I don't think I'm that patient. And my parents and my mom and my sisters for sure will definitely say Tony's not very patient.
Right.
I can hang out, and it's funny. People tell me I'm patient, even when I talk to them. They're like, no, Tony's got lots of patience. I'm like, I do? I'm like, I don't think I do, but sure.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So you said in the beginning you were taking landscape photography, and then you focused more on people. When I look at your work, I think that the people are secondary in your image, and it's like an image of a beautiful space. And I hate to critique people's work, and I'm not really critiquing. I'm just telling you what I see.
Yeah.
It's always like an image of this beautiful space, you know?
Yeah.
And then there just happens to be people in there.
Right.
So is that how did those two worlds collide, or?
Right. I have a hard time figuring out what my work really is. And the thing is, people tell me it's unique, it's different, whatever, because it's not a portrait. And it's not pure, like, this contrasty street photography either. It's kind of like in between.
Yeah.
And every time I start to look at it and I start to realize what I do, I think it's because I look at this life, and I look at this world that we live in, and I think it's much bigger than us. And we're just little things walking around, you know, and we have and this is why I don't like egos. I don't like this, like, I'm better than you or you're better than me kind of situation. We're all playing our part here. Right. We're all little tiny things. And if you really, like, zoom out, man, and the world is just a speck of dust in this galaxy. We are nothing. Right. And so I think I play that into how I shoot. And when I get really close to people, I do feel that they have a connection with this world. So it's mostly, when I do get close to somebody, it's usually children, it's usually old people. And I think it's because they're so innocent or so wise. And they have, you know, there's no ego anymore. You don't have an ego as a child.
Right.
You don't have, and sure, some old people do have egos,
yeah,
but to a point where some of them don't. Some of them are very wise and they understand the world. So when I do get close to someone, it's because that I do feel this connection with them, that they no longer are a part of the backdrop. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are usually in a space. And I do find the space beautiful in its own kind of thing. And I don't know. And we are like, you know, when people kind of stand in, I have certain compositions where people are kind of just standing in the right spot.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them.
Right. But why is
almost
that?
Every one.
But why? But why is that? Right? Why are they standing in that right spot? Right? Did I wait for them to get in that right spot, or they were meant to be in that right spot? Like, I do feel like we are always, everything's meant to go where we're supposed to be, and in this time, in this place, and so on and so on. And I think I connect with that. Right. And that makes me feel like I'm going to capture this moment in time where we're all where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's you.
Oh, I was reading your biography, and you have a beautiful quote here that's, there's an and these are your words, not mine. There's an unseen connection between everything on this earth that is divine. My aim is to bring this connection into focus.
Yeah.
I think you just broke that down, but can you like break that down?
Can I break that down even more? I can't. It's like a mystery. I don't know what it is.
Well, you mentioned the divine. That's one thing
Yes.
you didn't really break down.
So this is that connection that we have. This is that beloveful thing that I have with the world. Like, love to me is the strongest. I would think it's probably the only thing that actually exists in this world, and it's a choice to either be part of it or not be part of it. Right? That's the whole. That's why I love the whole God is love thing in the Bible. It's like my favorite verse, and it is God is love. Period. That's the verse, right?
Yeah.
So when you see that and when you hear that, you're just like, wow, that means God is everything, right? If God is everything, then everything is love, and love is God, right? So then it comes down to this point where then everything that connects us is love. And that's the divine, right?
Right.
So in my head, I'm just like, okay, this is what connects us all together. And obviously, if your ego is what separates you from this, right? And so I think it's when I'm talking about when people are in the right place, right time, or whatever, they are part of this love, this pattern, this intricate network of things that are happening. But yeah, that's my take on what the divine is and what that connection is with whatever. And that's why, again, when I take pictures of children and I take pictures of old people, I think they're more in tune with the divine.
Thanks to Robert Glasper and Taylor McFerrin. I don't know if it's out there, but I heard a studio recording with Robert Glasper and Mos Def. And I think Robert Glasper asked him something simple and very complex as, what is love? And Mos Def just said, love is God's signature on everything.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just like, all right. Because what I was saying before when we got cut off is that the older I get, the more I realize these cliche sayings actually stick around for a reason. Like love is the answer. Like all we need is love. Like all those things, when you hear it, you're like, all right, whatever. You know,
dude, but it's funny you say that, man. I shot Mos Def at this.
I love that image at the concert where he's got his hands out.
Yes. So I've never felt energy from a person like that in my life. And when I shook this dude's hand and I said hello and whatever, man, there was a beautiful transfer of whatever it was.
Yeah. This
guy's got beautiful, beautiful energy. And he has an understanding of the divine. He does. He gets it.
Yeah.
And during that time when he's spinning, his hands are up like this because literally he's turning around. He's like, I think he's like a Sufi. I'm not really. I think that's what he's doing. Mm-hmm. So I think because he changed his name. His name is Yassine Bey now.
Yeah, I was just about to say we should probably be calling him by Yassine.
Right, and I don't know what he's, but when you change your name to something like that, it's a very Turkish name and it's an Arabic name, and so change your name something like that, and then when he was on stage and twirling around, it's a very Sufi thing to do. And Sufis are wonderful, 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 wonderful people. They are the peaceful Muslims. Okay, I'm going to use that. They're the loving, most peaceful Muslims that there are. Right, and it's a wonderful. And I think they probably have the perfect understanding of Islam. I think, and like what it's supposed to be.
We just lost all our Shiite members.
Right.
My Shiite audience just dropped off heavily right now.
I'm sure they were. The Shiites and the Sunnis, right? So the third guys are the Sufis, and none of them, they don't get the love that they should. But
yeah,
dude, he knows. Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah,
he gets it. And so when you say that, it's funny because I just posted that image, on another platform because I love it. I literally posted it yesterday, which I find hilarious that we're having this conversation now.
Yeah, because I did a deep dive in your Instagram to find it.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
I was like,
there.
oh, this is very. When I saw it, it struck me because it's different than most of your images. First of all, it's black and white, which is going to bring me to my next conversation about color and how you capture color so briefly. But just finish what you were going to say.
No, it just I just find it funny that we're having this conversation now because it was just yesterday, and now we're talking about love and all that stuff. Then of course my internet cuts out, and
Right. Yeah.
I just thought there was okay, all right, and then now we're back onto it again. So let's hope it doesn't do that again.
Yeah.
Because there's always.
So I
that
wanted to
fight.
talk about your editing process and just not to get technical, but man, your ability to bring color out in your images is intimidating, man. Because it's like for me, I have a tough time with color, and that's why so much of my work is in black and white. Because I'm like, fuck it, I'll just make it black and white. But man, for somebody that, I mean, I know you can go to YouTube and I know you can learn a lot of stuff these days, but for somebody that didn't study photography, I know you have to get a clean image first, and you got to get the exposure and all those things right. But where does your ability to produce this amazing color that has this film quality to it, where does that come from?
I don't know. I don't know. It comes with me looking at my image and be like, that doesn't look good. And then I will play with it. And then I'm like, that looks good. You know what I mean? I'm a perfectionist, I guess, in my way.
But even a perfectionist, color is probably the hardest thing to get in photography. I mean, you can composition and all those things, but then when you get in the editing process, you could really fuck the color up,
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah, that's for sure. And that's why sometimes I did the same thing as what you do. I'm like, black and white.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And don't get me wrong, I love my black and whites, right?
I barely see any black and white.
Oh, go down.
Okay.
So if you go down, at one point I was posting a black and white every third shot. Because
your original work is even the color. Sorry to interrupt you. Even your color work, when you go down deeper, it's darker.
Yes. I started to realize, because more contrast, and it was too moody and too saturated to a point where it was a little too much for my eyes, I guess. And I'm just like, holy shit, I really had a lot of saturation in my shots that I'm glad I dialed it down a bit, because color can be very, very strong.
Yes.
And so I want to make sure that I keep it at a level where it's not too obtrusive, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's all the films that I watch. I think it's part of it. I think it's all. It's mostly the films that I watch. I'd say. I think that really helped me. My subconscious, I guess, when I capture certain things and I see contrast and color, I think that's helped me in a way to really capture it. I also think the camera that I have has the best color theory, or whatever it is, color, whatever.
What camera is that?
It's a Fujifilm. So
they're
their color
loyal to your Fuji.
Yes, I'm loyal to Fuji. I will never. If anything, if I do decide to go out of Fuji, it's because I'm going to go film photography, like with an actual film roll.
Right.
And that's the only way I'll do it. Just because I want to play with other cameras that are, but digital wise, man, I don't like Sony's, and I'm not part of that, Sony Alpha gang, whatever the people are. And the colors of Fuji that come out, and if I could, because I did start off with Canon with these little dudes, right? If I do Canon that way, but the thing is that when I first started, and the reason I bought the Fujifilm was a really good friend of mine who was in photography school. He was at the ICP in New York, and he saw my photos from Morocco, and he was like the main guy who was just like, Tony, your photos are really good. You really need to, you really need to get a camera. I said, and that coming from someone who has a beautiful eye, in my opinion, resonated with me. So he's like, your work would look great if you bought a Fujifilm so and so and so.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And that's what I bought. I bought it. And he's right.
Wow.
He's right. And I don't think I ever want to get anything else. And I'm very happy with it, my camera. And I don't, to the point where I have 2 bodies of the same one.
Wow.
And that's because the first one got ruined at Holy, and it still kind of works, but it's on its deathbed. And I there when the other one breaks, but now I have a third body that's not an X Pro 2. It's not the X Pro 2. It's another one. It's actually the one that I was using with you in Oaxaca, but I had both bodies with me just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting because I'm kind of like you. I don't really like talking shop. You know, when people ask me about like technical stuff, I'm just like, it's like one of the least things I want to talk about. But I know my way around cameras, but I don't know anything about Fuji cameras at all. So I might look into that a little bit.
That's one thing that people are known for, or what Fuji's known for, is their colors and the fact that that they look well, one, they kind of look like Leicas, and they look like film cameras, so they look cool. Yeah,
I thought it was a Leica when I first saw it.
Right.
I want to talk about, you sell your work online.
I do.
What is that experience like? I'm just like, maybe it helps some people out. Me personally, I want to start selling more stuff online, and there's all these different ways to sell it. And you use, what do you use?
I use my lab.
But as a service, what, like, because
it's my lab. He hosts my website.
Juan Carlos?
Yeah.
Shout out to Juan Carlos. I really like how everything is set up here. So
yeah, he's an artist himself.
So that is Photo Innovation Lab?
Yeah, in Chicago.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he hosts. And check this out. He hosts his. If he likes your work, you pay a premium fee. And you are a featured artist on his website, and he will, print your stuff. Amazing. Even though he'll print everybody's work, but I'm saying, like, if you want to be part of this,
right,
he'll do it that way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how has that experience been for you?
It's been great. I mean, I've been working with him ever since I started, and basically he started. So
that's such a great relationship to have.
It is, sometimes, if he increases in prices, I mean, I obviously get mad, but at the same time, I'm just like, I can't leave this. Like,
right.
Like, I understand you're going through things, and I'm going through things, and it's okay, and life goes on. But it's like, I love the way he treats my work, and, he understands my process, and he has respect for artists. And if I don't like an image, if he doesn't like something, like if I don't like something he prints it, he'll rip it up, and we'll print another one, Right. So yeah, cool dude, and I really do wish him well on his journey, because he's dedicated to his work. This man loves paper.
That's amazing. That's such a great relationship, and
yeah, and he
so
chose.
I think that's kind of lost nowadays. It was more, I'm 45 years old, so it was like, everybody had a relationship with their print shop or their printer, and
right.
That's pretty much lost these days.
I mean, if you're going to print on the internet and stuff, yeah, that's gonna go you're gonna lose that.
Especially with the colors that you're achieving here.
Right. There's another guy that I work with, but he does my bigger work. Like, Juan Carlos only can print up to a certain size. But I had one guy once. He has a 6x8 foot print.
Of what?
Jeez, it is it's the Inari Shrine in Japan.
Okay,
and it's literally just like a straight shot down. It's like the one with all these poles.
The red gates, or
yeah, it's kind of like the red gates, but we're talking about gate, right? Like it's a constant, and it's like a follow through.
There's so many images of yours. I mean, most people would say like, oh, I'd love to see this image huge, but there's so many of your images that I would just love to see huge. In particular, the pastel background, I think, is in Hong Kong. Pastel playground.
Oh,
of
Yeah.
the yellow mustard
Yeah. That building, the
court.
building with the Paso. Was it Paso Playground number one or number two? There's two
Number
of them.
two, I guess I'm
There's one
looking
that's
at.
landscape. There's one that's a landscape one, and that one there's a portrait one.
No, this is the landscape one.
Oh, the girl with
Yeah,
the badminton.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful
Yeah,
shot, man.
yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm not gonna even lie. I like it because I like both. I like both one and two. And one is the kit. The thing is, one is actually my bestseller,
Mm.
or second to best. Second, I would say, or third, but it's up there. The first one is literally a kid trying to make a shot with a soccer ball into the basketball hoop with no shoes on. And it's beautiful, and the thing is colorful, and the backdrop is colorful, and the whole thing is something
Awesome,
else.
man. I just I want to close with your workshop. What's going on with your workshop, and how can people people work with you?
I'm actually working on a video workshop where people can start to download, but it's still like in the beginning process of me putting my curriculum together.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully it'll be filmed before the end and sent out by the end of this year. But for now, you can either attend workshops in person here in Chicago, and we go into the city together, and then I'll do a critique of your work afterwards. Happy day. Or we do an online workshop where you can come to me, and we'll do it through Skype or FaceTime or Zoom or whatever. And I'll teach you some things about street photography. I'll give you a couple of assignments, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and try to capture those things because obviously we're in a place where we can't really do that.
Yeah.
And again, it's a process. Like that one's a little bit longer process because I need you to go out, I need you to go capture these things, and you need to come back and go through those images, talk about them together. What's the strong points? What's the weak points of those images? And we go from there.
Awesome.
And then there's like some kind of mentorship too, even though I don't even know I'm throwing myself as a mentor, even though I'm like still in the beginning of my game. But I do feel people need to talk sometimes about their struggles and whatever. And I'll be there for that. But it comes to like being a crazy professional photographer, maybe I'm not the best person for that, but just for like pitfalls in life and, how you feel about photography and where do you think it's going to get you and stuff like that. Just like the personal aspects of it, I guess, and their connection towards the photography world.
Right.
And that's where I get that psych thing, right?
Yeah,
I still want to help.
say.
Right. You want to talk? Come on down. We'll do it, and I'll help you through that process. It's not necessarily therapy, but, it's more of like a counseling kind of situation.
Yeah,
those are the three ways I do it. I also do workshops. I've done a couple of workshops here already in Chicago that I will do. It's like a group of 5 or 7 people, and we all go out together. It's like there's a small lecture in the beginning of street photography and different compositions, and obviously some masters to look at. Then we talk about that for a little bit, and then we go out into the field. We'll do a couple of hours out there. Same thing. We'll come back together. We'll do a proper critique of each other's work. And then I'll give them some, bits on how to do it and how to do well on social media and all that good stuff. And I still follow a lot of people till this day, which is nice. Like the ones that, attend my workshop, and one guy's doing really, really well, which I find fantastic, and it makes me feel good about myself. Awesome. So that's good. But yeah, that's the workshop thing. And then hopefully I'll be able to take that, and I don't have to be live all the time, and so I could put it on this videos, and so people can download them, and it'll be like a full-on course.
Awesome.
And then last and finally is take these workshops and take people with me on trips.
Ooh.
That is the ultimate goal. So ultimate goal for me is to do photo trips to India, to Myanmar, where obviously I have a connection with people and that kind of thing. And again, this was all happening. Like I was already making these moves, and then 2020 happened, and it's like, no traveling at all. I'm just like, okay, well, all right. I guess I'm going to take a break from that and then try different things instead.
Yeah. Interesting. If you're going to take people on a trip, what is the vetting process to be like, man, I'm going to take this person to India. Like, I got to make sure that they can handle it, you know? Like, it goes back to what I was saying, that people love to think they would love to travel and take these, you know, adventures, but then once they get there, they miss their bed, they miss their meal, you know, they have weak stomachs, I don't think that's cooked enough.
It's not like we're going to be like, all right, guys, we're going to stop at this street stall here and eat this food. You know, there is going to be a standard and that's why it's going to be a little expensive, just because there has to be a standard.
Yeah.
So no one can get sick. No one's going to get into, you know, a tuk-tuk accident. You know what I mean? Right. This is going to be like, here's a bus. We're all going to get on a bus. We're all going to go here. We're going to go over there. My mom is a travel agent. So I understand the travel business in a way.
Right.
And I've done trips for her where I had to take care of 42 people. Right. And I had to take them literally my Israel trip was like that. Took 42 people with us to Israel, and I had to take care of, no joke, we're talking about like uncles and aunties, you know, like we're talking about like all the old school people, like old generation, and I had to take care of 42 people. Was it tough? Yeah. But I think if everyone has the same focus, which is photography, and they listen to what I have to tell them and know that this is what we're about to do, and I think there will be some, warnings, I guess, of letting people know that we're about to go into such and such a country. You better know that you have to get this, and you have to know that you got to be prepared for this, and so on and so on. Yeah. This is not Europe, you know. Yeah. This is not you walking around in Prague and going to so and so church and that's it. No, this is like hiking and, you know, going through places that, you know, probably has zero sanitation. You know, so, you know, just like be prepared for something like that. And I think people have an understanding just a bit of what that's like.
It'd be comforting too with your medical background.
Yeah. I mean, I can only do so much, right?
But that's a lot. That's a lot when you're on the side of a mountain. Yes,
it is. But then again, don't forget I was going into psych. It was not so much a surgeon, but yeah, it does help.
Well, you're not gonna you know, perform surgery on the side of a mountain. You're hyperventilating right now. I need you to take some deep breath, like, you know, certain things like that.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. No, I got my first aid down. I understand. I'm good at that. But like, that's the ultimate goal, is the travel photography trips.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's what I would like. That's what I'd love to do. Why? Because one, I'll get paid to travel. I'll get paid to teach. And those are the two things I love to do. And on top of that, it's my photography. Three things that I love to do, and you're giving me money for it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would love to teach you. I'd love to take you. I'd love to travel with you. Absolutely. Come on down. That's what I would want to do.
Awesome. And you seem like an open book. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Honestly, I have my website is one of them, Instagram. I mean, those are the main two. You can Google me. My phone is up there. I mean, everything's up there.
Oh, wow.
Email me. Shit, dude, this is a world that technology is king. Get me on anything.
Yeah. But do you have a preference, like emails as opposed to DMs?
I would think professionally, yes, email is better. The DM world is too much sometimes, especially on Instagram. Like I have a lot that's still waiting that are still in my requests that I still have to talk to. It might take longer for the DMs to go through, but if you're coming at me from a business perspective, email and website. So if you go through my website, I have a contact form. You come through there, and that also goes to my email. So both of them are pretty cool. Perfect. If you want to email me, it's literally at tony@beloveful.com. It's super simple. Yeah.
Well, Tony, man, we could have this conversation forever, man. We could keep going, and I definitely want to continue this conversation, but I really appreciate your time, and I just want to tell you how much I really, really love your work and how inspiring it is, and I really feel fortunate that I was able to meet you the way I was able to meet you, and Yeah, I didn't know about you, but I was late to the game because when I went on your Instagram, it was like I think it was something like 44 people that I follow or follow me. You know how on the bottom it's like also followed by or also it was like 44 people.
Ah,
I was
that's
like,
a
oh,
lot.
fuck, nobody told me.
Hey, dude, I'm still finding people now that I didn't even, dude.
Yeah.
Instagram's huge, man. We're talking about it's the world, literally on a thing, and you got to find the connections that you end up making. It's nuts.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
a beautiful thing, though.
very happy that we have met as well, and I'm glad that that our paths have crossed, and I hope they continue to, because you're a cool dude. So I would love to work with you one day. Let's make that happen.
Perfect. We already have. We worked in Oaxaca together.
That is true. Yeah.
The one thing I want to say too in Oaxaca, we came under some stressful. We came together in a stressful situation, but I appreciate the fact that we were both mature enough to have a stern conversation and move past that. And I think that when that happened, I was like, I'm going to know this brother for the rest of my life.
Yeah, the thing is, because sometimes I can come off aloof,
Mm-hmm.
but like if when shit hits the fan and I'm a mature adult, right?
Right.
So and I appreciate maturity, and I appreciate having an understanding of other people and having this empathy. And I know that if someone's going through something, there's stress. I'm like, no, that person's stressed. Not everyone is an S or whatever because they're just going through something.
Yeah.
So you always want to make sure that that you're able to connect with that person, in whatever process. And I sound like that too, because I can be an ass, and people are just like, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, calm down.
Right.
Like, bring myself down a little bit. Hey, okay, now we're in a space. Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. You have to have a relationship with people because, again, the ego can sometimes come in front and take over. And
almost always.
Don't forget that connection, that divinity, that divine connection that we have with each other.
Yeah.
Is always there. And we're the ones who decide to cut it off and be like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where it changes. Right.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate all the inspiration. Every time I go on your page, I'm just like, sometimes I see people's work and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then sometimes I see people's work and I'm like, oh, I got to step my game up.
Dude, I say the same thing, dude. You know how many? Look at these. Okay, so you see, they're back there. There's a stack of photo books, and man, I look at these people. I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, these are good. I got Steve McCurry. I got Vivian Mayer back there. I got Alex Webb. I mean, I got like the photographers.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just like, okay. And I tell you the truth, I didn't get these books till recently. I actually didn't even know who these people were at one point.
Yeah.
And now that I look at it, I'm like, man, I have a lot I have to try harder. I have to keep going,
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It pushes me harder to keep working on it and see and it's inspiring. You see that work and I'm just like, okay, I don't know, for some reason, but when I register all these images in my head, it also just like throws it in there.
Yeah.
There's some images that I took of a bunch of guys in Speedos in Italy. Okay. And there's like a huge carousel on my Instagram I call it Speedo Italiano. And it's like a little series of just like these guys that were hanging out in their Speedos on this like beach, I guess, not really a beach, but it's like this rock beach. And one of the messages that I really loved, or one of the comments that I really loved about it was like, Martin Parr with a Steve McCurry eye. And I'm just like, wow, that's exactly what that is. Like, I didn't even think about it until that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I remember just like taking these photos and I'm just like, these guys are so interesting. They're so cool. And I took it from a documentary perspective, but with like Martin Parr's like concept of life.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny. But everything that I take in, it just registers in my subconscious, right? And somehow it comes out in my work.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my take on all of that.
That's
but
awesome,
yeah, it is. That's what photography is for me. I'm still learning, not a lot of new things. Like people are like, oh yeah, you have a lot of Steve McCurry in you, and people are like, oh yeah, I see some Fanho in you, and some. and what's his name? And God, Ernst Haas. Like I get that a lot too, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know. And then sooner or later, I look at their work. I'm like, oh, I can see that. I can see that. But I just happen to be, again, like I said before, I'm observant to the point where I think it's pathological.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm just grabbing a bunch of things, and I think some guys are better at it, and they stick to their point of view. And I think my stuff changes here and there, and I have this look, and then I have this look, but yeah, kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's an authenticity to your work that is undeniable, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that you weren't taught photography and you didn't go to photography school and you don't know all the photographers, and you just kind of went in this with a wanderlust and it shows in your work, man. It shows in your work.
I wish I went to photography school though, because I feel the guys that do go to photography school have this connections that I want. They have these connections. I need those connections.
You're talking about professional connections.
Yes.
Yeah, but then that somehow, some way changes your path. You wouldn't be who you are if you didn't go to medical school. You wouldn't be who you are if you didn't sit in those psych.
I know. But I'm just saying that because I want their connection. That's all.
I'll cut this little piece out now. Yeah.
Right, that little piece. And I also, tell you the truth, I want art speak, which I don't have. Yeah. That I also call art speak bullshit. It's also called bullshit in my language. But it is the same. It's that thing where, you can, my work comes from the depth of my soul and my loneliness that I have. But no, I don't know how to do any of that. I can't.
It's so funny that you say that, because in New York, when I lived in New York, I had a bunch of photographer friends and artist friends that were older than me, because my brother was 7 years older. And when I moved to New York, he had been there already for 2 years. So I connected a lot with his crew. So the people were a lot older than me. Yeah. And a big reason why I never called myself a photographer or an artist was because I didn't have that art speak. Like I would like hang out with them, and then all of a sudden we'd see a piece of work or a photograph, or we'd be at a show and they'd go into this art speak. And I'd be like,
yeah, dude, I don't get it either, man.
I know they're saying words that I understand, but I don't get that's not. And I felt like it was, if I tried to, whenever I tried to, I was like, wow, I'm full of shit,
Yeah.
And
no, it doesn't. No, you know why? Because photography school made them that way.
Or art school, whatever.
They wouldn't know those words otherwise, bro. They would have been just like you and me. You know what I mean? But for some reason, in what year that they are in school, that's what they have to learn. They learn to critique each other constantly, every day. Yeah. Right? So they have to learn these words, and they have to learn how to do all that stuff. Because I don't know what that is. I've never done it. And I remember some guy, he took one of my images and just like laid out 2-3 paragraphs about just one image. And I'm like, it's like you read my soul.
Wow.
Right? And I couldn't even explain it like that.
Right.
And I have that. And that's my problem that I have, especially when I want to like make a cohesive body of work. Like, I don't know how to do that. Like, I want to be able to, like, I actually wish I could call that guy and be like, hey, dude, do you want to go through my work for me? Because I don't know.
Right.
I don't have that connection with my subconscious. I don't know how to, or maybe I do. I just don't know how to put it into words.
Well, then, there's so many people that have amazing photo books, but there's a foreword or something by somebody else. It's like, I'm horrible at writing, and I want to put a book together, but I'm like, all right, well, who's going to write the foreword? Because I'm not going to write it. If I write it, people won't get to the next page.
That's what I need. I need that, and I also need someone who can curate. I'm trying to get a book out by the end of this year, Amir. That's the plan. At least for India. I think my India images are one of my best.
Well, that's what I said. When I look at your work, you can easily just, I don't want to say easily, but one approach could be, okay, I'm just going to do a book on this country or Asia or,
Right.
And I think that's a good start.
I think so too. Like at first I was going to throw all my images like, let's throw all the bangers. You know what I mean? Like, but that's not gonna work. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've wanted to put a book together for the first time, just because I've lived in downtown LA all of 2020, and I literally documented all the events that happened here. For the first time, I'm like, oh, I can just put a book together and just call it DTLA 2020. Like I finally have a box to put it in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once you do that, I think you can kind of just like, you know, click and drag a bunch of shit and then kind of, you know, get somebody to look at it. But I'm not writing anything.
It's about how to do right. That's the thing. Like I want to be able to. For instance, I opened up the Steve McCurry book.
Mm-hmm.
I just got this book. Each image is amazing, but I found it interesting that every art director or whatever that I talk to, they're like, each image, like you should go from one image to another with a storyline. This dude has no storyline.
Yeah.
But because every image is amazing, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, and it's because of Steve McCurry, right? You're like, this dude's been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, like to a point where you're just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he does.
No.
And he can just throw it all together because he has so much work.
Yeah.
You know, within those years. And it also makes me a little like weirded out about me making an India book, even though I've only been to India once. You know what I mean? But I was out there for Yeah, I know. But we're talking about a guy here who's lived there for God knows how many years.
Mm-hmm. But neither one of them have anything to do with each other.
I actually don't know what his India book looks like yet. I'm actually ordering it just to see. Just to see.
Right. Yeah. Just to see what's out there. Yeah.
Yeah, just to see what his India book is and how did he separate it, because I'm probably gonna be following in his footsteps.
Right.
Because again, it's Steve McCurry, and I do feel like we kind of shoot alike, even though he's more portrait focused.
Mm-hmm.
His framing and things like that, where I find his and I kind of almost similar in that regard, even though he's just much more badass than I am. But it's interesting to see, and that's where my little Thon Ho part will come in, like my little figures, my little black figures of people will come in, which is, you know, very different than what, you know, Steve McCurry's portrait work is like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know what you're using, but I discovered blurb.com, and they print out books, and they just have this great interface where you upload images and then you can kind of play around with the layout of the book. Yeah.
So it's funny that you talk about Bookwrite, right?
Am I talking about Bookwrite or Blurb?
No, it's Blurb, but their app is called Bookwrite.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had to literally stop that from running in the background so I could talk, so we could talk, because it takes a lot of bandwidth.
But it's interesting, right? Once you start playing with the images, then you kind of start to see.
So I was going to go with them first. I was going to self-publish, but then self-publishing can only go so far.
As far as what?
As far as you and your circle of people.
But then you can put it goes right to Amazon, right?
Not that I know of. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it goes right to Amazon. So when you, this is why I like them, because you can print out your own book and have it, you know, you can buy obviously in bulk and you save money that way. But you can also just make the book and have it instantly go to Amazon. And then Amazon says, this is how much it's going to cost. How much do you want to sell it for? And then that way you don't have to sit on, you know, 5,000 books or whatever to save money. You would make more money if you bought the 5,000 books from Blurb and then had them at your house. But then you got to deal with shipping and shipping, basically, which is a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't know. I have heard of Blurb, and I got started on it, and then I ran into another publishing company who gives me my rights as an individual as well. Like it's my intellectual property, which is nice. And at the same time, they help from beginning to end. So they'll help me curate, they'll help me write, they'll help me whatever. This obviously might be really expensive, but I'm not really sure yet. So I'm waiting. I'm having a meeting with them next week.
Awesome.
So I'm figuring out where to go from there. And I still have to figure out what my story is, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we'll see. So that's I know because I know I've been watching that guy on YouTube who's been talking about blurred books. He's a photographer himself who no longer works as a photographer. Forgot his name, but he was super cool, and just like knows what the hell he's talking about. And he's the one that put me onto blurred books. And once I got that app opened and I put my stuff on, I just sat there and I'm like, I don't know where to even start. Yeah. And so that was my problem. Like it's an issue when you don't know what to do with your work and you have so much of it. And it's like, I don't know what to put here. And I even had a hard time putting my stuff up for my exhibitions. Like I had no idea what to choose and what to put up there because I'm going to, I don't want to like stroke my own ego, but I love my work.
You should.
You know what I mean? But I don't put it up in my own space. That's a little too much ego stroking. You know, you put your stuff up all over your place. I don't have any of my work up. Like I can't do that. But I love my images because I connected. I was there and I feel it. And I know what's more maybe aesthetically pleasing, sure. But there's a lot of them that I do still find aesthetically pleasing that I don't know if anyone else also will. So it's I have an issue with picking my own images of what to put up. So I usually for my exhibitions, I'd ask like 30 to 40 of my friends and be like, all right, guys, go through my website, find the best images that you think would look good. Yeah. And then literally they would come back with them and I would tally them off. I would tally. You should see it. I don't even know where that paper is, but that paper's like long. And it's literally tallied off, and I would, after 5, I would cross. You know what I mean? Like
very
really
diplomatic of you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very medical of me. It's scientific.
It's been your work has been peer reviewed.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's research, right?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: why do you shoot? Who do you who do you shoot for?
Myself.
So.
Yeah, but if I'm going to make a body of work to sell, I have to make sure that I like it and they like it. If I liked it, then the book would be enormous to a point where it's not.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's my issue of just making it enough. And how much wall space do I have, right? If I have an exhibition, I need to make sure that it's the top guys are going.
Sure.
That's what I want. I want to be able to everybody to love the image, right? So again, tally them off until I know, number 1 is this, number 2 is this guy, number 3 is this one. And tell you the truth, I know I love those images.
Right.
And there's 1 or 2 that I'll throw in there that I really, really like, but they'll go up there either way. They won't sell, but I like them. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with them going up. And the same thing with the book. If I decide to go the same route as I did before, which I probably won't, which is because I might have like an actual art curator help me, which is, that's their job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they do it, and I'll have them look at the work, and if I will see what they will do with it. But I feel hopefully that they are going to like the ones that I like myself to see what they would do.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, it's been working for you so far, so.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I told you I still need those connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the more you do it, the more the connections, and that's what's so amazing about social media is the amount of connections.
It's
you
funny
just have
you say
to,
that.
You got to sift through the bullshit because there's a lot of people that stroke your ego on Instagram that don't know what they're talking about, and you got to kind of keep that perspective.
That's 100%. It's all about the ego stroking over on Instagram. But
not to discredit anybody's taste. I mean, everybody's, if somebody likes your work, that's amazing. But, sometimes you gotta
there's no critique.
Have perspective.
It's more just great shot, great shot, great shot, great shot, and you're just like.
Fire emoji.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Which, thank you.
But it's they're all bangers. The issue is especially with because you live in LA, you are in a better space for creatives to get to know each other. Like for some reason, like all the creatives that I know are on the West Coast, and they're the ones that work with the celebrities and all that stuff, and that's really helpful. I met a lot of cool people through there, or like from the West Coast, and the ones on the East Coast are like the artsy fartsy guys, and it's a very different. They're two different worlds. Like
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I lived in New
but-
York for 18 years.
right, but you didn't
as
live
an
there as a
adult.
photographer, right?
I did. I lived there as a photographer and a videographer and everything, because it was my 20s and 30s in New
Right,
York.
okay.
I
I
feel
knew
like
you were doing a lot of DJing back in the day, so I thought that's where you were in New York for.
no. That was just the beginning, but you know, everything was pretty much built in New York. But I feel like in New York, it's so much easier to connect with people because people are very honest. Even if they're going to tell you to fuck off, they're going to tell you to fuck off. Whereas in California, now California is changing because of 2020. So many people have left. But I feel like in LA in particular, there's so many people that are willing to talk to you at the cocktail parties or wherever you meet, but they do not follow through.
Yeah,
You know, I
they're
think-
my favorite saying about the East Coast versus the West Coast is that they are not nice in New York, but they're kind. But in the LA, they are nice, but they're not kind. Right.
Yeah.
And then New Yorkers understand that when they hear that, and then people from LA get pissed off when they hear that one. 'Cause it's true.
I just feel like people in the East Coast or New York in particular, my experience, they respect your time more.
Right. That's the kindness. That's what kindness is. Being kind literally has an understanding of it's the extra level of empathy.
Yeah.
Being nice is a very superficial thing.
Yeah.
Being nice
Yeah.
to someone is one thing, but being kind to somebody is something else.
Yeah.
Like it's the extra mile. There's no room for niceness in New York. There's no time for bullshit.
Yeah.
Same in Chicago. We don't get that bullshit either. Like actually in Chicago, if anything, is probably a little bit. There's a mix of both. We're very kind and we're nice. So
I think the weather has something to do with that too.
oh yeah, we suffer together.
But it's also like, look, it's nice out. I don't have much time. Whereas in LA, it's like, let's do it tomorrow. You know?
Yeah. They probably but the thing is, then you forget about it, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, in Chicago, I feel like, especially during this last winter, which was been pretty brutal. And I say brutal because it's been really, mild the last 6 years. But before in Chicago, every year before that has always been the same. So it's funny how it came back to normal finally. But
Yeah.
you can tell there's like now a camaraderie of people because we've all suffered this year together.
Yeah.
Which is also the silver lining of 2020 is that we have now come together in a way. And I think that's why people here are more kind to each other because we all struggle together. And that's that empathy I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the struggle.
Yeah.
They no one's struggling in LA, man.
Yeah. Well, there's people struggling now, but
You know what I mean?
they're like-
There's
yeah.
so much money out there; it's absurd, And if you're in New York, you have money, but you're in a certain area. Oh, I'm in Upper West End. You know what I mean? You're in your upper, here, this upper area. But you're, Washington Heights. If you live in the Heights, man, everyone connects together, right? It all depends. You live in the Bronx, you connect together. You live on Staten Island, it all depends on where you live and your connection with the people. And then on top of that, everyone's on the subway.
Yeah, I was just about to say the weather in the subway, man, because you tolerate so much. And then that subway, it's like you rub shoulders with the rich, with the poor, with the in-between. And here in LA, everybody's in their cars. And it's like there's an invite to everything, whereas opposed to New York, it's like, I don't care where you're going to pass the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens and all those things. And then the weather, it's like, it's the hottest you're going to feel, the coldest you're going to feel. And you realize that, like, there isn't that much time. Whereas in LA, the weather's so nice that you just kind of feel like the days just kind of blend,
Yeah. Dude, it's the thing, man. I would love to live on the beach somewhere. Like I can only do city life for so much, but I need a warm climate. I'm gonna I think I might just try out New York for like a year, and then move to an island. See where that goes.
Well, if you live in Manhattan, you can knock both of them out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but too bad the beach is gross in Manhattan. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Imagine swimming in the Hudson. That sounds fantastic.
No.
Not gonna happen. Not for me. And you can't. By the way, you can't swim in the Pacific either. Pacific sucks. It's super cold.
It's super cold, yeah. That's the one thing I always have to tell people growing up in San Francisco.
Yeah,
it's freezing.
I'm trying to do all that. I'm trying to swim, man. I need to be in the ocean. I need to, that salt water. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. That's I don't even know what we were talking about.
Yeah. We're just shitting on LA. So anyways, man, listen, I really appreciate your time. Yeah, I really appreciate the ability to just sit here and talk with you, and almost 2 hours have passed just like that. So
really, damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So
I talk all. It's a thing.
Well, we'll have to do this again sometime,
dude.
We'll talk about your book.
Hey, hopefully, if it gets published, absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll definitely talk about that.
Awesome.
And hopefully, traveling will happen again, and hopefully, that's another thing. Those workshops are running.
Yeah.
Those are the two main goals for this next phase of my life.
Yeah.
From there.
Well, awesome, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. All right, Tony.
Much love, man.
If you found this episode inspiring, please subscribe, leave a comment, and if you know someone that would find this conversation useful, please share. Your support is greatly appreciated as we build the Shoot Wisely community. Thank you for listening to the Shoot Wisely podcast. I'm your host, Amir Ebrahimi.